Since the 31st of March 1985, WWE has just about exhausted the English language of superlatives when describing WrestleMania. It's an event which has reached that invincible point of needing no hype. It generates its own. All that said, this prestige hasn't stopped some f***ing really weird shit from taking place in the last 3+ decades of the show. Short stack pancakes, anyone? These are a whole different type of WrestleMania moment. Ones which don't much leave your jaw on the floor and lungs devoid of breath, but rather your eyebrows in your hairline, eyes unblinking, and you screaming, "What the fuck?" With that in mind, I'm Adam Wilborn from What Culture, and these are 10 times really weird shit went down at WrestleMania. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to stay notified. Ding, ding, done. Number 10. Double Doinks. The abysmal WrestleMania 9 has very little in the way of legacy to brag about. F*** you, Hulkamania. But it did play host to some extremely bizarre scenes. Trust me, we'll get to some of them. Including this little number, which saw a second Doink the Clown join Matt Osborne's original clown in one of pro wrestling's most infamous run-ins. The second Doink took it upon himself to waist crush with a prosthetic arm, after which the dual Doinks took a moment to exchange one of the strangest stare downs you're ever likely to see. It's a mental image I just can't unsee. Ugh. Number 9. Hollywood Backlot Brawl. It's difficult trying to describe WrestleMania 12's Hollywood Backlot Brawl between Roddy Piper and Goldust. It was a backstage melee which descended into a car chase lasting across the duration of half the show. Oh, and using genuine chase footage from the O.J. Simpson incident. Showbiz! It would end up in the ring prior to the main event, at which point Piper stripped Goldust down to his lingerie, naturally, and then kissed Goldust and unleashed a physical assault on his testicles, before finally spanking him. This is why wrestling is classed as a guilty pleasure. Number 8. FOLEY'S Fatal 4-Way FLUFE. Frankly, you could probably include almost all of WrestleMania 2000 as a separate entity in this list. Head cheese? But the show's most bizarre moment came in the main event. Beloved and respected Mick Foley, in his final full-time wrestling appearance for WWE, made one of the all-time greatest misses. It's a simple jump, one he had made many times before from the outside second rope to the table. It's fair to say this is a guy who knows how to jump off stuff. He's had enough bloody practice. He jumps and somehow falls about a foot short of the rock and bangs his head on the wood, leaving Triple H scrambling to improvise a replacement spot. It's an amusing and equally sad sight for Mick to make such a mistake in his one and only WrestleMania main event. A legend he truly is, but this is one moment he'll wish could be erased from his show-reel legacy. Number 7. Pete Rose just got tombstoned. When WWE announced Major League Baseball's all-time hit leader Pete Rose to appear at WrestleMania 14, nobody could have predicted what would occur. It all just sounded like typical humdrum celebrity involvement at the show of shows, and we've had plenty of that. When he came out to do the ring introductions for the Undertaker vs. Kane match, only to start running down the Red Sox, things took a swerve into pro wrestling folklore. Kane, at the peak of his most demonic and evil power, walked down to the ring and proceeded to drop Pete Rose on his head with a tombstone, causing the Boston crowd and Jim Ross to lose their shit. It was one of the biggest pops of Kane's career. But think about it, it's fucking weird too. Number 6. Piper divided. For his WrestleMania 6 bout against Bad News Brown, Rowdy Roddy Piper made the questionable choice to paint himself black, but only on one side of his body, of course. A clumsily executed grand statement of racial equality from Piper. When Jesse Ventura won't go near something on commentary, you know you done up. One story, as told by Piper, is that Andre the Giant played an immense prank on him that night by switching out the special solution to remove the paint for water, leaving Piper half black for the rest of the night, and indeed, most of the following month. Number 5. That one time Big Show wore a thong. How wasted must Vince McMahon have been to greenlight a 1-minute sumo exhibition at WrestleMania 21 that made the Big Show look like the biggest chump in human history? And think who he's had to beat to claim that accolade. It couldn't really have been worse for poor Paul. He went out there in a kimono he should never have removed, revealing the sight of him bedecked in a mawashi, which mentally scarred everyone. He slapped Akabono around a little bit, and finally he got dumped out of the ring on his arse and was left left rolling around like a big baby. Hollywood! Number 4. SANTINA MARELLA. You have to feel sorry for the women of that unfortunate yet gladly bygone Divas age, and not just for that hideous belt. My eyes! At WrestleMania 25, WWE decided to offer the girls their token multi-person match, and whilst it seemed like a decent idea to bring in some past stars to complement the current crop, they did two things to slap them in the face. One, there was an awful 15-odd minute Kid Rock concert to start it all off. What year is it? And 2, the Miss WrestleMania Battle Royal was won by a man. I have no doubt that Vince McMahon thought this was a highly entertaining and humorous move. But maybe don't take comedy advice from the guy who thinks throwing someone into a swimming pool fully clothed is the funniest thing ever. Number 3. Seen enough Cenas. Speaking of WrestleMania 25, the 24th anniversary of WrestleMania WWE. So, we had Santina Marella, whatever the the main event was, and John Cena's entrance for the triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Wow. Something like 80 blokes dressed as the man himself lined the mammoth aisleway, waving their hands in front of their faces as Cena ran through them. A smark's worst nightmare. Cenas, tons of Cenas, everywhere you look, with hats hiding their eyes and a very poor sense of synchronicity. Will the real big match John please stand up? Number 2. Casual murder at Mania. One of the Attitude Era's most notoriously negative moments, along with Hawk falling off the Titantron and Choppy Pee-Pee, this incredulity-inducing scene from Mania 15 defies belief at first sight. The Taker vs. Bossman Cell match itself is a match most would like to try to forget, though it becomes exponentially harder when you consider a man was essentially killed afterwards. What the was going on here? Who decided, you know what, let's hang Bossman after the match? Of course, Bossman showed up on Raw a week later and was absolutely fine. He escaped, they said, from a noose 15 feet in the air. Right. Number 1. WrestleMania 9. Live from Caesars Palace, Las Vegas, Nevada. Boy, did they take that theme and run with it right into the ground. Everything from the altered names of the on-screen personalities, such as Howard Finkel becoming Finkus Maximus, to the attires and the staging counts for this one. Particularly bizarre is the opening ceremony, featuring the introductions of Julius Caesar and Cleopatra, Randy Savage's entrance being flanked by virgins, and Bobby Heenan entering backwards on a camel before having his arse exposed. Go home, WrestleMania. You're drunk.
Wow, wasn't that great, guys? I don't know. It's your decision. Subscribe if you enjoyed it down here. Check out more of our content over here, or check out some of our other channels over here. Oh, you better click it. Click it before I do. No, seriously, you should click it though.